Okay, what is the next project, and hopefully the last exterior house project for the fall? It is the storm windows. As you can see here, a broken storm window. It fell out of here. Now, these are the two living room front windows, street facing of the house. Original, this oldest two-story part of the house, 1875. That's the way they made windows back then. You can see the sashes there, and then you would just put storms in frames out in front here, or switch them out with screens if you wanted. This, of course, used to have two storms. This storm fell off, broke, and disappeared years ago, like before I even moved back here with Dad. And you can see the damage, the weathering that's happened to the sash. Of course, it's also terrible for insulation to have no storm window there, but that's been like that for a long time. This one just fell out one day in June, and it fell just right so that the bottom broke and the bottom pane of glass busted out of it. So I've decided that I have to fashion new storm windows for both of these before winter. So this stuff is still sitting in the car. This is 1x3. Yeah, my hand got all scraped up. It looks terrible. These are 1x3s. I got 4 of those. These are 1x2s, slightly thinner. And then I've also got a bunch of half-inch square dowels. According to Dad, this is the last original window storm on the entire house from 1875. That's what they originally looked like. That's the look that I'm going for with the ones that I'm doing now. This one's gonna wait another season. I'll replace this next year when I have a little more money. Sunday night, September 10th, this is the first glimpse of what the storms are gonna look like. The boards have been cut. There's gonna be 2 of these. Okay, it is Sunday, and I have gotten the first frame together. I'll show you how we're getting them together. We're doing this with wood peg, wood glue. Yesterday I marked out and drilled holes for just 1 peg, and then I thought today, no, that's not going to work. You need 2 to hold everything steady. I'm about to drill a second hole into this board here. We're using this jig. Got to line up my pencil mark with that mark that's on the jig there. That is for 1/4 inch. That's the size of the dowel that we're using. Got a 1/4 inch drill bit in there. I can't film and drill at the same time, but this is how you do it, and I'm gonna do it. Okay, it's done. I'm gonna drill second holes for the rest of these 4 boards here, and I'll be back to you in a second. Okay, so we're getting ready to plug everything together here. Okay, there we go. This is just a dry fit, but still, I mean, it's very much together. These corners are lining up pretty good. A little bit of sanding, a little bit of wood pipe. I mean, that's pretty good. This one's just very slightly off there. So do you see how I have these all marked? This is window A, it's the front. This is the left side. This is a top, front, a right. That's because the only way to get this stuff to line up is you have to get it together and then make your marks across both boards at the same time with a speed square like that. That way everything lines up, but it will only line up in, you know, the exact configuration that you had the boards in. The other thing is this jig. It's supposed to go like right in the center of the edge, but it's slightly off center. And again, it all works as long as you have it facing the same, with like the crank side toward the front is how I did every single hole, and that means that they're all equally off center in the same direction, so it all lines up. So a little tricky, but now with this one I already put the glue in on the dowel pins, and we got these little brackets holding this together while the glue dries. So okay, so we've made a lot of progress since last week on these window frames. The crosses are in there, everything's held together by wooden pegs or rods. I stuck rods in from the sides that go all the way in there, and so forth. There's pegs holding the crossbars in there. And then you can also see that I've put these 1/2 inch square dowel. These are like bezels, I guess I'll call them. And they're going to be holding individual panes of glass. Originally this design was going to have one big piece of plexiglass, but plexiglass is crazy expensive. It has been since 2020. The price has not come down. Regular glass is actually way cheaper than plexiglass. To get a piece of plexiglass this big to put in there, one piece, I think would have been like $170 or something insane. But anyway, so regular glass is cheaper. I think it's going to be only maybe 50 or under for 4 panes. So 100 for both windows. That's affordable. Anyway, so they will be set in there. If I can do this without breaking them, they'll be held in place by what are called points that stick down into the wood and kind of hold against the glass. And then we're going to be using glazing compound around the outside and the insides of the glass panes to further hold them in place, protect them against the elements, keep water from getting to the wood, etc., etc. Both of these have been completed up to the point of the bezels and stained. You can see there's a light stain on that side. And now I have put wood putty epoxy in the sort of the joints here, which I'm waiting to dry and sand, and then we're going to paint the fronts of these. It's going to be that same boathouse blue that the hatch door is. Okay, the equinox was yesterday, so this is legal. Oh my god, I am going all out for Halloween this year because we are burying my dad's ashes. There's going to be a family reunion in October. We picked October because that was his favorite month. And this is the front of the house right now, same deal. Orange lights and webbing on the front bushes. I just pruned them today. And we also have the, flame light bulb in the lamp out there. I just had no idea how good this was gonna look. I'm gonna love even more when I have those storm windows done and put on, which is hopefully gonna happen next week. Okay, I skipped a week, but this is where we are now at with these screen. That does have glass in it. It's hard to see but you can see they both have glass in them now, and the glass has been glazed on the backs here, and I did just put some stain on the glaze, but the glaze is not really holding the stain. It is a little bit. It's not screaming pure white like it was a minute ago. Meanwhile, outside, I repainted the exteriors of our sash windows here. This is the one that was really bad, exposed to the weather for God knows how long, many years. Repainted and then touched up the window glaze on these. And I'm just about to paint this window glaze. It's had all week to dry. And I did repaint some of the other trim here. This little window here matches, and the step here below the door. Of course, the front of the storms is going to be this same shade of blue. Now up here, oh my god, this is a whole different story. These are a different type. They're still ancient, but these storms are a different type. They are screwed in, and as you can see there's like little sectionals that go in there. There's glass at the top, screen at the bottom. This frame, my dad fucking cut the bottom of this storm frame out to put an air conditioner in. And the rest of it's still screwed in. It's a big mess. I don't know how I'm gonna get them out. All right, everybody, they are done. Back up here so you can see what it looks like, how they're reflecting the light of the world on their window panes. I don't think it's that bad. I think, especially from out here on the street, you know, you don't see any details. It just looks like two little crisscrossy windows. That's what I wanted. Oh my god, I stressed over this project for so long. This thing took me over a month to do. I think it took twice as long as the damn hatch door just to get these two windows. Oh my god. And according to my dad, that is reminiscent of what the original storm windows looked like in 1875. This is what it looks like from the inside. I still haven't cleaned the glass in here yet, but I did clean the glass, yeah, you know, inside the enclosure here. But yeah, it doesn't look too bad. I mean, it does if you get real close up. You're like, God, what's all this sloppy glazing and caulk and everything? That looks terrible. But you know, when you're looking out a window, you're looking at the scenery. What's happening, kitty? So, of course, the bevels here are on the inside. This is kind of the reverse of what a real window is supposed to be like. Bevels on the inside, and the glaze, which has all the strength, is on the inside too. Normally, that would be on the outside. On the outside is like Dynaflex Ultra. That is a exterior caulk. It's good for all seasons and stuff like that. That's just to keep the rain from getting inside the frame. So they're kind of ass backward because when I started planning this was supposed to be plexiglass. It was sort of a different design that I had to modify as I went, turning it into a glass window like halfway through. But in the end, whatever. They're up. These turnbuckles are supposed to keep it from falling out. You can see it's barely touching it, but you know, both the old ones just fell out. You can see my top turnbuckle is actually connected to the window frame. That's to keep it on the top from falling in. And you know, you might think turnbuckles are extremely primitive, but I mean, that's what they would have used back in the day when this house was new. So that's why I use them again, and they work. And also, when you back up here to the street, you can't even see them. You can't see the crappy caulk job that I did or any of that. They're just windows. Like I said, I do want to address the upper storm windows at some point. I don't know when that's going to be. Could be before it gets super cold. I've got 3 storms on the back of the house here to do. I've got the kitchen storm to do. I've got this back room storm. I've got that back room storm. And I have this whole damn south side porch enclosure to worry about, which are basically 6 gigantic windows. There is, in fact, going to be a global window restoration initiative happening in 2024 for this house. These 2 front storms turned out to be just the beginning of that.